There's a version of you that actually does the thing. Starts the business, films the video, sends the message, builds the thing. And there's the version of you that spends 45 minutes on your phone, and then feels vaguely bad about it for the rest of the day. Most people think those two versions are separated by discipline. They're not. They're separated by what you've been feeding your brain in the hours before you try to do anything. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what scrolling does to the part of you that actually wants to build something, and why fixing your focus is only half the problem. This is the final episode of the Brain Rot series. We've covered quitting social media, what your phone does to your memory, and why you can't sit down and actually work. This one ties it all together. I'm Patrick, thanks for watching, and let's finish this. Section 1, the ambition paradox. Here's something I find kind of weird. Most ambitious people I know are often the most addicted to their phones. And I include myself in this, but big goals, lots of drive, real things they want to build, but checking their phone every 5 to 10 minutes. And I think the reason is actually pretty simple. Ambitious people are wired to want stimulation. They get bored fast, they need more inputs, and they're always looking for that next thing, which can be bad if it turns into shiny object syndrome, which I know a thing or two about. Might make some more videos on that in the future. So your phone is basically the easiest way for you to get dopamine in the room. So most ambitious people don't just use their phones to kill time, they use them to feel like something is happening, even when nothing is, just to get that dopamine hit. Section 2, what dopamine actually does. Most people have heard that scrolling messes with dopamine, but here's the part that actually matters for ambition specifically. Dopamine isn't just about pleasure, it's about wanting. It's the chemicals that make you lean forward, that make you feel like something is worth going after, and then they flood your brain with a small constant dopamine hit, like likes, videos, notifications, anything like this, completing a task. So dopamine is known as the reward mechanism of the brain. So whenever you accomplish anything or feel like you've accomplished something, it gives you that little hit I was talking about. So normal ways are like eating food, achieving a goal, completing a task, self-care activities. So it's a bit of a vague, broad list, but you get the point. Your baseline shifts. The real things in life, your goals, your work, the things you build, start to feel less exciting by comparison. Not because they got worse, because your brain recalibrated what counts as a reward. You still want the big thing. You can stop feeling the pull towards it, and the gap between wanting something and feeling driven to actually do it, that's where most people get stuck. And most of them have no idea their phone put it there. And the reality is, most big things that you actually want to achieve are gonna take a long time to get there, right? It's gonna be constant rep after rep. Think about getting in shape, for example. You have to go and work out multiple times a week, every single week, for 3 to 7 years to get your dream physique. That's probably about the average time it would take, assuming you have everything locked in from your diet, your recovery and sleep, your programming and intensity, and all this for the gym, right? So you need to find ways to get this dopamine through doing the activity. So it's the shift from getting it from just on your phone scrolling to getting the dopamine from doing the inputs that are bringing you closer to your goal, right? Because everyone knows the saying, it's about the journey, right? Or about the process. Get used to the process. So we need to engineer this in a way that makes doing the steps in the process that you need to do every day or multiple times on a weekly basis the things that give you the most dopamine. Section 3, what I actually noticed. When I look back at the periods of my life where I got the most done, built the most, moved the fastest, there were always periods where I was barely on my phone, not because I was disciplined, but because, like I said, I had everything blocked, so I really wasn't able to do anything. No Instagram, no social media. YouTube was blocked. I could only really search stuff if I knew what I wanted to watch. But what I noticed wasn't that I just had more time. When you're not getting the constant dopamine hits from your phone, from social media, you're going to want to do the main thing more. Even if it's something that you dread at first, most of the time you just don't want to do it or dread doing it because you're bad at it. You can't even really compare how something is or how much you like something until you get decently good at it. No one likes being bad at stuff. No one likes losing. This is just basic psychology. The drive's just sitting there waiting to be used, instead of being quietly bled out through a screen all day. And I'm not saying it's I stopped this and suddenly it's I took the limitless pill or something, but the gaps between having an idea, actually starting it, and taking consistent action got smaller. And then it was easier to do harder things. And I think this gap is where a lot of ambitious people have issues, because anyone can have an idea. Anyone can come up with a 5, a 10-step plan. You can have everything planned out, but if you're not actually taking action and consistently doing the main thing, it doesn't matter. Because first off, you don't even have the necessary information to come up with the good plan or optimized plan that will actually get you where you want to go, because You don't know half the steps. You're at step 0. But discipline is a game of subtraction. So if you can take away something that's giving you dopamine from another area, you're naturally going to have to crave it from somewhere else. So try to put that energy into doing your main thing to be consistent with it. Section 4, passive consumption versus actually building. And here's another thing that no one really talks about. Consuming content about building things is not the same thing as building things. Learning about doing the work isn't actually doing the work. I think Chris Williamson with the Modern Wisdom podcast has a good essay or blog post he wrote about it. It's like 30 things that he listed off, and he's like, oh, this is not doing the thing. Like planning to do the thing is not doing the thing. Thinking about the thing is not doing the thing. Telling your friends you're going to do the thing is not doing the thing. And so on and so forth. You get the point. And it's easy to trick yourself into thinking it is. You watch videos about entrepreneurship, productivity, mindset. You feel informed, like you're in the game. I've done this. This was me for years when I was younger, like 16, 17. It feels productive, but it's not productive. The version of you scrolling that feels educational. You already have 10 times the amount of information for 5 different business strategies, and you're trying to figure out which one's going to be the most optimal, or which business plan is going to be the most optimal. What workout plan? Just pick one and start. You're at 80%, 70% of the information you need. You're good to go. By the time you have that other 30%, either the opportunity is going to already have gone by and not be as prevalent as it was, or you're going to hit the valley of despair. It's how any new thing goes, and this is why shiny object syndrome is so prevalent. I forget who made this or where I learned this from, but it was like this, I think it was Ray Dalio, the graph where you have uninformed optimism, where you're up here when you learn something new, and you don't know all the bad things, but you're like, this is great, like I'm going to do this, I'm going to make so much money, or I'm going to get so in shape doing this, and then you start doing it, and then, informed pessimism. Now you kind of know, like, some of the things that are not so easy, or people aren't making it seem this way online, there's more to it, obviously, or it's fake, right, whatever the case. Then there's the valley of despair. This is when you realize, like, okay, this is hard, like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. You start to, like, question everything and self-doubt, and this is where a lot of people just go back to step 1, uninformed optimism. Just pick a new thing, a new shiny object, and then start again. But eventually, if you stick through the valley of despair long enough, you get to informed pessimism. Actually, I think informed pessimism was 3rd. So this is when you know the bad things, but you're continuing to do it either way because, it'll compound over time and eventually get you where you want. And then the 4th one is, on the up and up, success, where you want to be, all the good stuff, right? And still, this leaves you exactly where you are 2 hours ago. So just scrolling and learning new things just leaves you exactly where you were 2 hours ago, with more information that you're only going to remember 10 to 20% of, and no steps closer to your goals. The only thing that actually moves anything is making something, shipping something, doing something. Like, there are only a couple of business models I think you can really do. This is more for anyone who's like entrepreneurial watching. You can sell information, you can sell service as a software, so like a SaaS company. You can sell a service, or you can sell a product. There's probably like little caveats to those, but those are the main 4 things that you can sell. So if your goal is to start a business, see which one of those resonates with you most. Kind of go from there. So constantly learning and even just being productive on your phone can be another form of procrastination. Remember, anything that's not the main thing is taking away from where you actually want to be. So here's the thing about this whole series and what it's actually been about. Not screen time, not dopamine or productivity hacks. Just about the fact that you have something you want to do with your life. If you've watched these 4 videos, it's not for no reason. You actually want to improve yourself and you're serious about it. And there's a machine in your pocket that can either help you achieve these goals or take away from it. And your phone in your pocket, if you don't have it optimized, is literally designed to make you feel okay about not doing it. Gives you just enough stimulation to be comfortable, just enough entertainment to feel the discomfort that would have actually pushed you to start. And this is another thing. A lot of you are right in the middle. You're not in a bad enough situation that actually gives you the motivation to want to get out of it and take the action, but not in a good enough situation that you're happy, or you wouldn't be trying to figure any of this out, right? This is not an accident. And the moment you take accountability and see it this way, it's pretty hard to look at your phone the same way again and just do nothing. So if you've watched this whole series and haven't at least taken action on a couple of action items in these videos, watch them again, actually take notes, try to figure this out, because this information can genuinely change your life if you're willing to actually apply it. Or this can just be another YouTube video that you watch or add to your save later and never do anything about and nothing changes. It's your choice, right? I still use my phone. I don't live in a cabin in the middle of the woods somewhere, but I know what it costs me, and I know if I'm not on top of it and have my limits and stuff set up, it's going to take me away from my main thing. And for me, a life of mediocrity would be worse than the pain of failing, being bad at things, taking action and stuff not working, people judging you, posting content online and nothing working, failed businesses. All this is going to be part of the cost depending on what path you pick. And it changes with what you're willing to sacrifice. You need to get this in order. So the whole point of the series, it wasn't even mainly about brain rot. I guess it's more about just taking action consistently on your main thing. It's the whole message of this channel. For a lot of people, and especially younger people, the phone is just the biggest thing that's kind of keeping you back from where you want to go. And I know this is like a boomerism where it's like, oh, stay off your phone. Like your phone's gonna like do this and that or whatever. But genuinely, if you're spending multiple hours a day just wasted away instead of actually putting that towards improving yourself in some type of way, you just have to be aware that you're making a choice. Discipline and mediocrity are like two heads of a coin. Discipline and comfort are two heads of a coin, and you can't have both. Quit the thing that's making you comfortable. Try to take action. Try to pick something that makes you uncomfortable. Something that you want to do. Something that you have a sneaky inkling that might be your thing. Remember, you have all the tactics, all the advice you need, all the science behind it. Inaction has killed more dreams than failure ever has. So, that being said, take consistent action on your main thing. Don't stop. Peace.